Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shubha Joshi and this channel is all about enhancing your style, behavior and confidence. Whether it's your personal life, your career or creative endeavors, there's a common feeling of being stuck. It may feel like treading water, unable to make any progress. And trust me, this is absolutely normal. We all feel that way. The good news is that breaking free from this cycle is possible and is quite easy because you need to make certain changes in your habits. And today I'll be talking about these 7 habits so that you can get rid of this feeling of being stuck. What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Number 1 is to improve your sleep quality. And you might think, why is sleeping quality related to feeling stuck? Well, you'll be surprised to know that the quality of ideas and the way you think depreciates if you are lacking sleep. Having good sleep helps you strengthen your brain cells. It is important for you to also analyze why are you lacking good sleep. Is it because of stress or is it because of alcohol or maybe some other reason? So certain doctors claim that when you wake up in the morning after having alcohol at night, your performance depreciates by a significant percentage. Having alcohol regularly also affects your brain cells badly. If you want your brain to function properly, then you must quit drinking. In case of stress, of course, this is something that is hard to overcome. One of the things that is really effective and it has also worked for me is the chamomile tea. Just before going to bed, if you can have a cup of this tea, I think it does wonders. If you feel thirsty during the night, you can definitely have a bottle of water just next to you. But having this tea helps you have a good night's sleep. Remember, sleeping for at least 7 to 8 hours is essential for your body. So prioritize your good sleep habits to maintain your cognitive function. Remember, poor sleep leads to poor performance. Point number 2 is to apply a rule of 4%. Now, what is this 4% rule? 4% harder. This rule is defined by Stephen Kotler in his very famous book, Bold. And in this book, he has described that increasing the bar by 4% for doing any task enhances your experience of doing that task. It makes it more challenging and more encouraging for you to do that. This way, you are able to keep the right pace and the interest to do that task. In short, it is to ensure that your challenge is always ahead of your skills. A good way to practice this is to have a timer. For instance, you were supposed to finish a presentation in 8 hours. Now, instead of 8 hours, if you set a target to complete this in 7 hours 45 minutes, then it will keep your pace intact and the challenge to finish that task before 8 hours will also be there. Another example could be a project which is to be finished in 4 days can be finished in 3.5 days instead. And don't we do that sometimes when we have to reach somewhere on time? We set our watches at least 5 to 10 minutes ahead of the time. If you are one of those, do let me know in the comments below. Okay, the third habit is to practice learning and development. What you have to do is to dedicate at least 2 hours a week towards studying. You might think I have a job, I have a lot of work to do, but the fact is that if you stop yourself from learning things and studying, then you won't be able to grow as an individual. So whether it is a corporate or an individual, learning and development is essential for both. I'd say go to your calendar, set aside at least 2 hours a week, which is not much, and this should be non-negotiable. You should not let your work get in your way of studying. So when you're studying, ensure that nobody disturbs you, no work is being dealt with, just studying. And this could be you watching something, you reading a book, or doing some kind of a research, whatever it is, but do study, do work on your learning and your growth. And you'll be amazed to see how it affects your productivity positively. Now, fourth is to respect your body and mind. And what do I mean by respecting your body and mind? It is to nourish it, it is to give it time to relax, meditate, to eat healthy, to drink lots of water. And this reminds me of a reel that I was watching the other day, which said all these millennials look like they are in their 20s, even if they are in their late 30s or 40s, but they look as if they are in their 20s. And all these Gen Zs who are actually in their 20s, they look as if they are in their late 30s.
Is like aging really rapidly.
It is mainly because of the stress. Don't believe me, I'm Gen Z.
Millennials, aka people born between 1981 and 1996, seem to be aging at a slower rate than previous generations.
I think what contributes to this is that millennials have been taking care of their body right from the beginning, and thanks to our parents that they taught us how to do that. So eating healthy, praying, also meditating, exercising, all these are essential. You must get into a habit of either working out or doing yoga or any type of exercises. Even a morning walk or an evening walk, I'd say, is good for your body and also to your mind by dedicating at least, I'd say, 15 to 20 minutes of meditation. I also practice 10 minutes of praying and meditation. These things help you calm your mind and also focus on something greater. Okay, so it could be your own energy or it could be your faith, but these things really help you strengthen your mind. Next up is to avoid rushing. If you're someone who is in a wild hurry always and you are working things at a high pace, then I'd say you can slow it down a little bit. It's not that you will always make mistakes, but there's going to be a higher possibility of you making mistakes when you're going way too fast. If you are physically doing things at a high pace, then also it may lead to injury. So climbing up the stairs and you're too fast, then there could be a possibility of you falling off from the stairs, and God forbid this happens. But imagine that in both the cases, whether at work or any physical activity, if you are doing things way too fast, then you will end up either making mistakes or having an injury. And in both the cases, all the medical procedure or all the correction of the mistakes will take more time as compared to you going a bit slow and doing it with more caution. And if you're someone who does this, you will realize that you end up wasting more time this way and then you feel stuck. Next up is practicing gratitude. Appreciating what you have rather than crying over what you don't have will lead to a better mindset. Practicing gratitude for 30 days alone is set to make your happiness and productivity increase by 25%. So thank yourself and appreciate yourself for small wins. You can go out on a short vacation or give yourself some treats. Next up is to let go of perfectionism. It is okay to have this feeling of making things just right, but sometimes you have to take a deep breath and relax. Not everything can be made perfect. There are mistakes, there are certain situations where you cannot get everything right. Sometimes you have to weigh how much time it is taking, and whatever the best is, you have to deal with it. Perfectionism is an excellent quality. I also seek perfection, but there are times when you must know where to stop, because if you don't, then you will start feeling stuck. And a bonus tip is to have a routine. And I'm assuming that my friends do have a routine, but if you don't, then you must create a to-do list, whether in your diary or your Google Calendar or your notes on your iPhone, wherever you make it, but do write down what are the things that you're going to do the very next day. And this is something that you can do before going to bed, because all the thoughts come to your mind and then you can list it down. Also discipline yourself towards creating a routine rather than randomly working every day, because that also makes you lose a lot of time, and then this feeling of being stuck creeps in. Have clear goals, whether these are your long-term goals or your short-term goals. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you did learn something. If you did, then do give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, you take care. Bye-bye.